There it goes.
Recording.
Hi guys. We're doing an impromptu solstice, end of solstice, beginning of the new year, technically kind of a thing. I was going to do a planned solstice thing and then was called to bring all of my beautiful friends together for us to talk about something that was really much more important than what I was going to do alone, honestly. But we'll get to that another day. I would like to introduce Renee and Francis and Amanda and Garrett to the panel. I actually was listening to Laura Eisenhower's solstice program that she did this evening with three very beautiful, lovely ladies, lovely lights. And they were talking about how they're all experiencing like the very same things that all of us on this panel are experiencing right now. And like literally, I've had the worst 3 days. The past 3 days have been just awful for me. And I've cried pretty much the whole 3 days, you know, dealing with my shit in my environment. And we can't control stuff in our environment, people in our environment, how they resonate with us and our truth, or you know what level they're vibrating at and open to for learning. And it's very challenging and difficult for all of us when we have loved ones and we have friends who just refuse to wake up. Like, it's so frustrating. And on Laura's program, one of them said something that really hit me, that made me want to do the show tonight. And I know that Laura has been through her own stuff with her family, but one of the other ladies had said she just felt like giving up sometimes, like really strongly lately. She's just felt like giving up. She doesn't feel like doing her YouTube channel. She doesn't feel like doing her groups, you know, and it really resonated with me because I've been bombarded with so much. And I know that every day that I walk in this energy, what I'm dealing with and who I'm dealing with and why I'm dealing with it. I am aware of it. I'm completely conscious that every bit of it is a test for my will, my faith, my strength. And I surpass those tests every day. Even if I have to cry all day, I still surpass the tests. But the thing is, I retreat. I fall back. I don't want to do my YouTube channel. I don't want to do my groups. I don't want people in the public eye to see me weak, because I'm a type of leader. I'm a type of inspiration. I'm a light for other people. I always have been. So when my light dims, I retreat. I'm true to my sign, and I crawl back in my little Cancerian crab shell and I hide. And I deal with my shit inwardly, right? I deal with it well. But my aha moment today, and I've learned this lesson before, but today it just slapped me right upside my stupid head so that I finally get it. We don't have to show, we don't have to appear weak or beaten or defeated just because we show other people that we go through the same bullshit and mud that they deal with every day. And that we need each other. We need that connectivity. We need that collective support from each other. I mean, we preach, we live, breathe, and preach the collective. But when it really comes down to the bare bones of it, every one of us are guilty of trying to retreat when we feel weak, when we feel sad, when we feel the low vibrations trying to take hold of us. And really what we need more than anything is to be able to reach out to each other and be each other's tether and each other's anchor to the light. And all of these people that are sitting here with me today have done that with me. And I want the world to know that, because that's huge, that's pivotal. Not just for me as an individual, but for people who look up to me. For them to understand that I don't have just one person that I turn to occasionally. I have all of these. And I have two more that are actually not on this panel. I am so blessed and so grateful. We were just talking about little things we're grateful for. I am so very grateful for the people that I have met, for these lovely people that are with me today, and the two others that I've mentioned that aren't able to be with us right now. I am truly, truly at my core so blessed and grateful to have so many people that I can turn to when I need somebody. And I just want to say I thank every one of you right now. And I think we'll start with Garrett, and I'll just put him on the spot if he doesn't mind, because he too recently has just went through another of his own types of dark night of the soul.
Yeah, I think the whole reevaluating what I really want to do and why I want to do it. I think being a health coach is what I started out doing. Then more of my spiritual journey came about. So I pursued that. I learned more about Reiki, started taking the action steps of a spiritual path. Get caught up in the distractions of life and fall, go out with friends one night, and then next thing you know, your vibration's lower. You start making not really good decisions necessarily for your higher good. So definitely in a reevaluation phase for the most part. I think the last probably 3 or 4 days, for sure, I've had a lot of anger. I haven't really had a lot of that. I've isolated for sure, but I've allowed myself to sit with the anger and know that it's okay that I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling, and I've learned to be okay with that. However, you mentioned the word guilt earlier, and how that sets in after a while. How we have this perception. I'm an Aries, so I'm a warrior spirit. I've always been able to, stand up and go do what I need to do. To be vulnerable in allowing whatever this energy is to come in and help us identify all these things that we haven't worked through. Like a lot of stuff that's come out for me is definitely stuff related back to a marriage I had in the Army a long time ago, where I won't even get into that conversation. That could be another entertainment story for another night. But a lot of the things and the abandonment and things that tied into my inner childhood and how those things evolve, they're affecting my ability to stand in my own empowerment now. And it's been able to open all of that up for me. So it's kind of a cluttered explanation, I guess, without me going into more detail, but hopefully that'll start us off. So the insights that are coming from it are really good though. Now I'm able to transmute a lot of that energy and allow it to be. So
right. But you as well as myself, you've kind of been at this point now where you're at a good constant, a good stable way of walking in that life. And then all of a sudden, boom, some shit you thought was done and dealt with, like Pandora's box opened up and it got you, right? I mean, that's the same thing I've been going through for the last 3 days. It's just crazy.
I think if you remember in 2017, we had the Eclipse during the day. Everybody was paying attention to it. People took off work for it. But if you recall, we were probably having a lot of our dark night of the souls as far as the light workers and the way showers. So I think we're going through another deeper layer of that.
Yeah.
It's preparing us specifically for this very soon to come. So I'm trying to look at it as like the finals week or something, where you're going in there, and the more you can look at it and say, hey, I'm doing this for my own benefit, my own good, so that I can help the good of other people,
Right.
So
right. And actually you are right. And again, that's another one of those things where like I consciously already understand why I'm going through the bullshit I'm going through right now, and all of you, because I knew it was going to happen. But like Einstein knew it was going to happen. Okay, we actually have a scientific explanation for what's going on right now. And this portal that's opening up is us actually going into the deepest parts of the dark rift of the Milky Way. And Einstein wrote about this, and he said that as we got into that dark matter energy, which is like solar energy, to the 9th, it's supercharged. that it was going to force merge the right and left hemisphere of the brain, right? Which would force people to become psychically aware, right? Like it would force them to understand that they're psychic. So that's people, you know, that don't even know yet, not us, right? I mean, we do know. So we're just going deeper into it right now. And, you know, there's going to be different aspects of it for all of us. For example, last night, all of a sudden, I closed my eyes for a split second and already had two images really fast that were shown to me that completely explained, like, literally 5 pages worth of stuff I wrote down. So, I mean, like, things are just bam, bam, bam coming to you now if you were already aware that you're psychic. But because we're going through this particular position in the Milky Way, that's why all of this is happening to us now with this portal. That's what this portal energy is about, is us like getting into the real soup of the you know, big energy that's really going to help us to level up if we're open to doing that. Now, granted, people that aren't open to that, they're just going to get more angry at us, basically, which has been my experience recently, especially. That's been my experience. But
well,
yeah,
I think it's important to know that there's no guarantee. Like, we all have this perception that we are going to make it, but I think it's an individual as well as a overall conscious awakening too, you know. And I think we could all go in different directions at some level, but I don't know if that makes
no, that does
so
make
I think the reality of that is good to check in with once in a while, and
yes.
that will help push you through those times when we're struggling and we're like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. I'm just gonna relax, you know. Although downtime's good, don't get me wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Amanda, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say that that it's like the part of the evening out of the masculine and the feminine too that's going on right now, right? We're really balancing that out, because I'll tell you, I'm only 5'2" and I'm a 97 pounds, but I am a strong dynamite woman, right? Almost too strong at points in my life that I needed to have more of my feminine put back into me, right? I was just so masculine, like, and as girly as I was, my mouth was not, my toughness, like my energy, my shoulders, my just the way you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very domineering and was yeah, scared the crap out of some people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big guys. So for me that so for me it was like a deferment of like Amanda, you really need to like, you know, balance this out. Like, let's not just pop off, right? Because again, that's a whole that balancing that out. So like, you don't need to get so mad all the time, right? You don't get so steamy. Just keep down, and you don't have to be so like turn your head the other way and like, oh, whatever, right?
Yeah. And and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because that's another thing I really want people to understand. It's just because we walk in love and light and we wish love and peace and no hunger for the whole world does not mean that we can't be a little bit of go fuck yourself when we need to. Like, clear boundaries are important. You know, they really are. They're super important. You have to be able to be strong. So yeah, balancing your feminine and your masculine is part of being truly grounded in your spirituality. Absolutely. Because you've got to be able to be strong like a man and say, no, you can't do that. Or go to hell, or, you know, whatever you
then able to cry about it. Yeah, but then cry about it. Like a man should be able to like cry. Like if he,
right,
you know, not just because a baby's born or because something like significant in his life allows him to do that. That's
right.
not okay. He should be able to shed his tears because his mom wasn't nice to him when he was little. That is okay. yeah,
Right.
he can get that out of his system. Like that's fine. So if those are those things, because we're going, well, at least I'm gonna speak for myself. I was a very confused person, right? When I was asking questions back in the day, right? Like when things started turning in my head, I was a very confused person, and I didn't know about YouTube. I didn't know about all of these great things that I could have, like, different resources, gone out and found people that had like-minded people like me. So there's still people in that stage, right, that haven't even gone there. That and the first thing is confusion, because you're like questioning things, but you don't have some answers. So it's like just really nice to know that like confusion is okay, to know that like you're not out of your
Right.
mind
Right.
where you don't have all, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to be confused sometimes, and it's okay to be not, I don't want to say afraid or scared, but what's the word I want
Just
here,
don't
guys?
know the answers, right? And some,
Yeah, I mean, we don't know all the answers. Yeah. Unsure. I think unsure is the word I really was looking for there. You know, it's okay to feel that way. And real quick, I just want to ask Garrett, do you cry?
Yes, I do. I've been pretty emotional the last couple of days, where I've been able to release the feeling, and
Yeah.
it is, so yeah.
Well, that's good. Good for you. Not good that you've been crying the past few days, but I'm glad.
Probably won't do a demonstration, but no.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. We just wanted to make sure. I'm glad to hear that. And I want you to empower men. I'm totally putting my foot in my mouth, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Francis, would you like to add to this?
I mean, I very pretty much what Garrett and Amanda have already said. The other thing too is this perception that if you walk in love and light, life is perfect. You know, there's no such thing as perfect.
Right.
If you walk in love and light, you get tested even more.
Yes.
And your tests don't come with an announcement. It's like the mock quiz that's not an open book. You know, you showed up in your classroom and your teacher told you guys that you guys are going to have an essay that day, and your teacher shows up and decides they're throwing a mock quiz. That's how it happens, because it keeps us on our toes, and it allows for us to do some self-reflection, to check in with ourselves. What are we doing? Are we repeating patterns of old, or have we changed the narrative? I know on Saturday and Sunday, I was feeling a little bluey, but I was so happy that I caught it, you know, and did a quick check-in with myself. All right, why are you feeling blue? So you're not going home for the holidays, big deal. It's not the first time you haven't gone home for the holidays.
Right.
Okay, yeah, you miss dad. Okay, well, dad's been gone for how long now? You miss him all the time. Oh, you're feeling blue because you're feeding into this ideology that it's the holidays and the family has to be together and the this and the that. So instead of focusing on all the beautiful things that you've been gifted with during this past 3 months that could have really turned somebody upside down, I've sort of felt myself going into the narrative. So, you know, I did my usual, go listen to some Cryon, take a nap, or just let sleep take me, and do my baths. And I was mantring like a person, a steroid mantra machine. Oh yes. So saying them back to back until I felt them.
Yeah.
And I became very slow in every single thing I did. I wanted to wash dishes. I wanted to examine the soap bubbles, because I needed to rewrite that script. You know, so I think that sometimes the records of old and the scripts come in. And when you catch them, it is okay to sit with them and to examine, where is this coming from?
Right.
You know? But that there is a perception out there that when you walk in love and light, you're always happy. The world's a glorious place. No, it's not. The world's a shitty place full of demons, reptiles, and goodness knows what I encountered today, you know? But I handled them all. And, but there were lots of people of light. I actually butted into people's conversations and entertained myself in my half-hour wait at the Dollar Tree.
Well, good for you. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, I walked in, I went to go get a carriage. The woman was lifting a box and I said, "Oh, behind you." And she paused and turned around and gave me the look of death. And I had three choices: leave, recognize the God in her, or shut her down with an equally cold look of death.
Right.
And I just recognized the God in her and kept on moving.
I am proud of you. This
You're not going to ruin my outing. Do you know how hard it is for me to go out there? And
Yeah,
I didn't
that's what I
go
was
during
gonna
the typical old lady time that I usually do.
Yeah.
I went right smack bang 12 in the afternoon.
Yay. Good for
Yeah.
you.
It is a very difficult time. The other thing is that I've had this feeling for the past week and a half. I know I keep talking about the moon. I am obsessed. I examine the moon every time the moon is out to see what it's doing. And again, I'm being told that this moon is different. And I think that I had said that from when it first started to form. Now, this is me. I feel, and I'm getting the chills, so it's a message that's coming. I feel that this is the awakening. You will be awoken. The only way you will not be awoken is if you were dead. But you will then decide by free will what you choose to do. However, you will be awoken, and that is why the energies are heavy and things are happening. But through this, as we go through this, we are going to come out in the light.
That's right. That's right. We are. And again, that goes back to, like, if people put this in a logical, mundane perspective and go back to the Einstein findings and theories about going into the dark rift, like, scientifically, this is factual stuff. We're moving into that dark rift. This really is the pivotal moment of awakening, like the point of no return. It doesn't matter if people don't want to wake up. On some level, they're going to. It's up to them what they do with that. It may scare the hell out of them. It may make them want to know more. But all of us are going through this. No one is being left behind. And to quote one of my favorite authors, nothing can stop what is coming.
And the other one that's coming is that the things that we're being confronted with could be because there are decisions that have to be made. So, or because we have to get to a certain place. I can't translate it. I can see it.
Yeah, well,
So it's a journey that we're all on. We're all on this journey, right? And so I'm seeing a desert, right? And you've got a little bit of water, but you know when you're going to get to the next oasis, but you're thirsty, you've got to make that decision. Are you going to drink that water now and suck it up to the next oasis? Or are you going to manage that water? But no matter what decision you make, there's something to be learned from it. And there might be there's something to be learned from it, because you're going to need that thing that you've learned when you move on,
Right.
as you go forward.
And actually, that's the kind of things that I've been experiencing the past 4 or 5 days. I had been working on writing my book, rewriting it, and kind of put it on the back burner for all the other energy that was going on in my life. But then all of a sudden, it was like literally every time I shut my eyes, I was being shown some lesson I've already learned, and then like a whole new level of understanding it from like this way higher. And I just started writing it all in my book. I just like hand to paper for real writing, and just wrote it all out. Because for me, if I write, that's like the best way to absorb what I've learned, is to put it on paper. A lot of people, when they put things on paper, they're letting it out, they're letting it go, but I'm actually absorbing it more when I do that. Strange. But yeah, I'm even experiencing that myself. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, is all of us experiencing all of these different energies that aren't fond. We're not fond of them. They're not love and light. They're not happy. They don't tickle or make us smile. We're real, just like everybody else. We're human like everybody else. We're on a journey like everybody else. And, you know, we're all being faced with tests and challenges, and it's up to us. We all have a choice. It's up to us what we do with it. And I think that it's really important that first we understand that we're all going through it. And then second, to understand that the main test here is a test of your will, a test of your faith in yourself, and a test of, you know, how much are you really going to use that knowledge that you have? At what level are you going to apply it? You know, I know plenty of people that have degrees where they went to college, but they don't work in that field. So they have this level of knowledge that they're not utilizing. You know, it's the same thing on your spiritual path of growth. You may be learning lessons along the way, but are you really utilizing them? Are you really applying them to your daily life in a conscious effort? Like, are you realizing why you're in this situation and the choices that you're making? And that might actually be a whole nother topic of conversation, but that might be the most important piece of the awakening, is just realizing consciousness. And I need a blanket too, Francis, because I'm getting shivery.
Right. Yes. Right.
I think for me, I want to be I'm working on building my empowerment life coaching. But here I am not being empowered at all. So being able to move forward, I've been very hesitant and finding all these reasons, you know, not to.
Yeah.
What's my distraction I can go do to try to distract myself out of it? But being aware of the reality of that's what's going on, so that I can take the steps to move into it. And
right.
Maybe that's not the path I'm going, but knowing that I need to take steps forward into working towards whatever I can do to help anybody else, you know,
right,
moving forward in that direction will mold me into what I need to go do. So just because I have a perception of what I want to be doesn't mean that's what the universe has got in store for me. And I'm open to whatever the universe has for me, even more than the picture I. So.
Yeah, and that I was actually just going to say that to you, Garrett. You and I kind of do things the same way. We sort of put our feelers out there for things that we might like or be interested in doing or whatever. And if it doesn't work out smoothly, then it's like we just take that as a sign. Oh, the universe didn't, you know, really mean this for me in my path. And that is a good gauge, a great gauge, really. But I think lately, maybe Garrett could be doing the same thing that I'm doing, where I'm kind of using that as a crutch to allow myself to remain stagnant at times, you know, instead of moving forward in a different direction. Like, the universe has provided me plenty of opportunities lately, but I'm like, I don't know, I'll just feel it out and see where it goes. And here I sit doing really nothing in the meantime, you know. So I'm just sort of getting stuck and stagnant because I'm doing that almost as a crutch now at times, you know. And it's not that I have a fear of moving forward. I don't even know really what it is. Maybe we'll talk that out and you can psychoanalyze me, guys.
Procrastination, right? We were talking about that, and I think that's one of our tests right now, because that's a discernment thing. We have all been like, right, at home, trying different new things. Not all of us, excuse me, and there might be some people too that I wanted to say that might have like a buyer's like remorse, like, right, you went to school, you did all this work, you've been in this job for so long, and you're like, you want me to walk away? And it's not like you're going to get 100% support from your family, right, or friends, really, by doing that, because they're like, you're crazy, why would you do that in a time right now to make all these big decisions and stuff, right? Well, it's about listening to your inner self and like knowing, is that the big decision, like this is what I want to do, right? And that procrastination comes in because you're working from home now or whatever, right? Your schedules change, and so now you got to be like, okay, I'm gonna go sit here even though the dishes are dirty over here. You could go over to do them, and then you don't do it, right? And you go back, and
Yeah.
there's so many little different things, little distractions. Yeah, you can go call a friend, go get some sunshine. Yeah, the
Yeah,
phone.
cell phones.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you just want to stare at your cat for like 10 minutes. Who the hell knows, right? You
Yeah.
just like, you can make them up, right? But to really be like that in this world, and we all do it, every single one of us here in this setting right now, we do that. And and like, people need to know that's not been like easy peasy. Like, oh, you work from home, that must be great. You build fairy houses, it's great, right? Yeah, it is. I love it too, but like, I have a whole bunch of other things I'm doing too, and like, I got to make sure that I'm doing that, and I'm bringing creativeness as I'm doing that, right? And that I'm eating and not like doing my fairy houses 24/7, and not drinking. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into all of that, right? So
Yeah.
I just want to share, like, very normal to have all these like these feelings of like, and like setbacks and like whatever. Like, I just whatever. Renee knows.
Yeah.
Knows her own self. Right?
I told Kelly, I can be on tonight. I'll just have to go put a bra on. It's like, it's like going braless all day long. You get kind of used to that. It's like, oh, I'll have to put the bra on and look decent again, So, but yeah, I had to kick somebody out of my space, and Loretta was not working out, and I just had to let her know. And my mama bear came out of me, and I had to have that backbone and say, hey, you know what? And I stood up and I said, no, you cannot say those kind of things in my space, and I'm not going to allow that. And I ended up, telling her she had to go. She was supposed to stay here for a couple months to sell a house, but to me, it wasn't worth the stress and the aggravation that she was going to put me through. So it's like, no, my time and my space is worth more than that to me. And so that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah.
I think Amanda had mentioned, you were talking about boundaries a little bit, and kind of came to me like, we've been really good at working on boundaries with other people as we've gone through our journey, but I think this is the time where we're working on our own personal boundaries for ourselves. So what are the disciplines, those things that I really want to work on? And then my higher self knows they're good for me, but I'm just not moving forward. How much of my ego is holding me back from doing that? So going internally with that, loving the ego and allowing, really asking yourself, what do you really want? Your inner being, but the boundaries for ourselves more so.
Right. Exactly.
There's a song I want to, so it's a shout out to Kali Butt. It's a reggae band. I really love them a lot. But there's this one line that I'm telling you, I used to just, when I first turned 40, I was like, I'm gonna sing this line, right? And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And at that time, I was still in my head like, I know I'm not gonna be in this career forever. This career setting me up for something, right? And so it was like, I realized what I want to do, and I'm 45, and I realized what I want to do with my life, right? he's not upset. It's like 45 years old. He's just now realizing what he wants to do with his life. And it's like, it's all good. It's all good, man. Just like
That's
chill
wrong.
out. Yeah, just like relax about it. But I also want to say, like, we are so magical. I think everybody just needs to step back and look. Like, right now, we are predicting our future. So we're gonna look back a year from now, and we're already seeing what you do. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
My brain's going a little bit fast.
No.
but you're setting like what we're doing right now, or anyone else that's doing any like little chip at yourself or anything that's changing difference in their life. You're literally setting up really great things. So I was at my gym yesterday, and I was talking, I hadn't seen everybody in a really long time, and there was just one big thing I just kept telling all the fighters and just some hobbyists too. I was like, can we not do New Year's resolution, guys? Let's not do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't set yourself up for failure. Let's do something really cool. Let's do let's plant all of our seeds right now that are amazing that we're gonna do, right? That you want, that you no, excuse me, you desire, that you would like to put out there. And then in the spring, right, you're gonna watch them all come true. And it's gonna be amazing. Like, we're all gonna help each other, right? But I think it's time for us to just sit back, make a couple little New Year's resolutions to ourselves, and that way of like feeding our soul, feeding some thoughts, fermentation, gardening our stuff and letting it formulate. And that's happening right now, and we're getting forced to do it. Like it or not, you're forced to do it right now. So if you have to put your freaking face in a pillow and cry and drool and beat the shit out of the bed, do whatever. That's kind of a therapy too, right? There's all different kinds of therapies. Just grab them. And there's so many available to you, like here and on the website, right? And like, and if we can't help you, or anybody that there's tons of people we can refer you to. Like,
Yeah.
it's all about what take this stand and help each other now,
Right. Right. And even with you, I want to just real quick say, like, Garrett has a website as well where he helps people. And there may be price tags attached to those therapies and those modalities of helping people, and I have it on the website, but in case people don't know, if you cannot afford to pay for those helps, those therapies, Garrett and I both are very willing to do those services at a discounted rate or even free if necessary. Everyone needs to know that we are in this together and that we are all wanting to help each other. And it has nothing to do with how much money you have in your pocketbook or how pretty you are or what name brand clothes you wear, or if you've got the best sneakers or the best car or whatever. None of that matters. The only thing that matters in all of this is us getting through it together. And we can't get through it unless we do it together. We can't. That's literally the only linchpin that could stop this, which is why we have all of those dark forces that are working against us now. And, even in saying dark forces, people tend to think of like sci-fi or new age or whatever classification they want to put that in. But dark forces literally are all around you every single day of your life. They are in the people that you interact with. They're in the radio programming. They're in the TV programming. It's in the signs on the roads. It's in everything, right? There is negative energy and dark forces at work in everything around us 24/7. I don't care who you are. They're around you. There is no getting away from that. And so we need to keep that in mind and see that as real for everyone so that we can understand that we do need each other and that this is not bullshit when we say that we want love and light for people and that we hold space for them. We really are holding space for everybody because we need each other.
It's actually stressed out hundreds to thousands of healers.
Right.
They have been through ones that have been, I mean, way awake, you know, David Icke, I will just throw him out there, right? Like ones
Right.
that have been out there, and Alex Collier, they've been out there, Laura Eisenhower, they have been out there for decades. Jenny,
Yeah.
you know, they have documents to prove to the, you know, papers that they have followed documentation because they can verify with their stuff, right? These people have
Right.
been around for a really long time. I can't imagine if we're breaking sweat from what we've been through, what these people have been through.
You can
Dolores
see it
can't.
with Laura Eisenhower, I think, when she really
Yeah.
working hard to balance that, I think.
I think she
Yeah.
does too.
So,
Yeah.
You
And God love her. I think she's doing great at balancing it. But I even too, I think me and Amanda even spoke about this the other day a little bit. We've noticed a little bit of a struggle in her as of late. And so we hold space for her and send her loving energy to help her get through what she's going through too. Because yeah, I mean, they, like you were saying, they get kicked in the teeth, they get downtrodden. Like she was saying on her solstice video tonight, that she doesn't even want to read the comments anymore in her YouTube videos because there's so many ugly people who choose to just comment. I mean, why comment? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you so triggered that you
Some
need
of those are,
to comment and be so ugly? Go ahead, Renee.
some of that is bots too. Some of that is bots and stuff that the dark, you know, put on our stuff to kind of dissuade other people from joining in. So some of that stuff is just, you know, is negativity that's forced on good people to try to turn away a lot of people from waking others up.
That's true. But even the
Right.
bots are controlled by the dark side, you know?
But it doesn't, I mean, it's just like, it's like watching a commercial. You can't undo it, right? So you read something, if it's a bot or not, it doesn't matter. It's hurt you, it's hurtful, right? So we're human and
Yeah.
we feel that human experience. So
Yeah.
it's really shameful, right? So it's almost to the point where it's like, all right, so I guess you just start muting your comments. Right. And if the whole thing was, this whole thing was to have an open platform so that people could comment, so that we could all interact. You can interact with everybody that is on these platforms. That's how I met you, Kelly, was through the interaction of the YouTube, right?
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
what the were amazing. So that
Yeah.
sucks for her to not be able to interact, right? And
Yeah.
but that's where we want to hold that space and like be like, no, that's not how we want to do that. And like,
Right.
it will change. It's just we have to go through the thick of shit right now, right? It's the thickest of thick.
Right. Garrett, you wanted to
And I
say
think it'll
something?
get there, but
No, I was just thinking how she and others like her in her position are being attacked with all kinds of technology we probably don't even understand. I know Carrie Cassidy has those as well. But
Yeah.
just those other layers, the depth of the trauma that she's probably experienced outside of just comments or something, you know, and how long she's probably been taking stuff because of her family lineage, you know, for so long. So, you know.
Well, and her own personal journey too, because, you know, I started following Laura back when I realized that she was being manipulated and they were trying to recruit her to take her to Mars, you know, for that Mars mission. And all kinds of sinister things happened in her life. And I can relate to that because I've had a multitude of those type of events happening in my life to thwart me from my mission and who I'm supposed to be for this whole, you know, awakening. And so it's very difficult to maneuver through. And we're all, even if you're Laura Eisenhower, right, you're gonna struggle at times, and we need to all hold space for each other and let each other know that, you know, we're here and we see you and we know that you're only human, just like us, you know, including Laura. She's just human, right? I say just human, but really, guys, once we all, including Laura, wakes up to the full potential of what that means to be human, fuck, all this other stuff is done. It's done.
And we chose to be here. That's the number one thing that always kind of keeps me grounded, that somehow I contracted or chose this.
Right.
And always try to in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Versus the victim role, you know.
Right. Yeah. We can't look at ourselves as victims. We can't allow that. And we also can't always be strong, independent individual. So again, back to balance, you know, that yin and yang, that masculine and feminine. We got to find a balance in it and be somewhere in between being really awesome freaking leaders on our own to, you know, not being the victim and having the people we can hold hands with or lay our head on their shoulder, even if it's virtually. You know, because so many
Kelly, you said find a balance, and I saw this image of wheel balance, but instead, you know, we need to make sure that our chakras are balanced and aligned. But you said find a balance, and I just saw this image of, you know, how they put the cars up, but then it's us people.
Right.
And would
That's why I used this before we started.
Francis, would you explain, because again, this is something that I wanted to share too, because as you awake, right, the language can be kind of confusing. And
Yeah, so
we want to say, yeah, we explain chakras and like the meridian, you know, energy force. We explain.
Good point. Yeah.
So the chakra piece for me is new. Well, it's new in the sense that I now know what it's called, if that makes any sense. But I would feel things at different points in my body in connection to people or situations. But our chakras are various energy points that are connected to certain aspects of our physical body, but also our spiritual body, our spiritual being. And those chakras can get blocked. They can get blocked through what we put into our bodies by way of food, medicines, vitamins, whatever. They can get blocked by trauma. They can get blocked by environment. Okay, so think about the concrete buildings where there is no natural light and everything is artificial and everything is sterile. Sorry, I'm hearing. So they can get blocked, and when our chakras become blocked, depending on the area, we can be off balance, be it maybe feeling drained, maybe feeling too much to one side, not standing in the middle, maybe too happy or too sad, maybe not able to connect spiritually as we usually do, maybe having difficulty sleeping, having difficulty understanding, aches and pains of unknown origin. I don't mean because we were working in our human sleep time, but just aches and pains of unknown origin. And, you know, blocked chakras, I mean, they can really have an adverse effect on your body. So imagine if your chakra is blocked, if you are operating on a lower vibration and you're not conscious of what comes out of your mouth, because your thoughts and your words are important. So if it's, I feel so sick today, well, guess what? You're bringing that sickness. You're actually manifesting and drawing that towards you. Oh my gosh, it's Monday. I've got to go to work again. It's been Monday and you've probably been working for the last 20 years on Monday. What's the big deal? What happened on a Monday? Nothing. You just heard the song by the Boomtown Rats, Tell Me Why I Don't Like Mondays, and then you've just jumped on society's bandwagon and you've brought yourself the Monday depression. You know, it's like these things, these are records, like we are born into this. You know, we hear this in our households as children growing up, and we absorb this bullshit. It's all bollocks. We just keep absorbing it. We never absorb the one that's gonna, get you to the finish line and, you know, make you feel like you can go run that cross country. No, but these things, they stay and they become normal. And that's where the danger is. But chakras are very important. And even if you don't know what a chakra is, just try standing up and just try seeing if you can send energy down the middle of your body. And if you can't, then talk to your body. Ask your body, what does it need? What is wrong? It could be that it's too acidic. It could be that it's too alkaline. And just pause and just listen to that thought that comes to your mind. You know, in the last 3 months, I make it a point to greet things. I greet my crystals. I took after you, Amanda. I talked to the plants in the shop. I picked up a bunch of flowers today. Then I decided I didn't want them. I apologized to them and put them back and picked up the neighbor. And I said, sorry, it's a $1 difference. I need it right now. You know?
Love it.
It's important. It's, you know, when I go on my different sleep schedule and I'm up, I always love the sunrise, but my goodness, has it taken on a whole different meaning.
Right.
You know, these are the things that matter. These are the things that matter. Your being, your alignment. And I think that sometimes we actually need to step out, step away, shut it down and recalibrate, almost like we're just getting refed, getting the petrol back in the gas tank so that we can come out again, you know.
Your favorite thing that you always say, how do you, what is the element that you use to cleanse this yucky feeling?
Oh, me? Oh, to cleanse myself? Oh, every night I take a bath. I take a bath. I take a salt bath. Yeah. And sometimes I'm bathing 3 or 4 times a day. Yeah, and then everybody thinks like this, it's some big ritual. Listen, you can use table salt, you could use whatever salt you have. If you don't have salt, you can tell the water that it needs to act like it's, you know, it's
Right.
what you were putting out.
Right.
You know, and it's just, you have to build these things in so that you can reconnect with yourself and your soul. You know, when we go, our soul is fragmented. Our soul is already fragmented because we never come back with the whole soul. A part of it from all the previous lives are all kept. The grid. So you gotta always stay in connection with your soul so that it doesn't get taken from you.
That's
I
right.
think that's a really big point, because I think we think our soul's with us, but we're in our head most of the time. And that's what's leading us away and into the, I got to do something. I got to this, I'm not doing. And I think that perception helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And know that you're not crazy. And even if you are, it's okay to have a little bit of crazy.
Let's come back.
You know, it's useful every now and then. You know,
It does.
It's and it's not a fad, it's not a show, it's not a this is how you do this. It's different for everybody. Everyone's gifts and everyone's blessings are completely different. You know, I laugh at myself now because I used to talk to myself before, but this was when I was like working in the office, thinking things out aloud. The amount of talking that I do now is quite funny. It's like, don't push me. I almost fell into that thing. I'm not in the mood. Go away. You know, the amount of talking, or can you please go away right now? You're making me too cold. I don't know who you are. You're scary. It's a whole different level, right?
I love it.
And you will feel your body talk to you. You'll feel your body get excited. You know,
Right.
the first time that I tried to practice something, I says, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here, but this is what I would like to do, and this is what I'm going to try to accomplish. And I did it.
Yeah.
But we have to honor ourselves and take time for ourselves, love ourselves, even in the good and in the not so good. You know, when you cry, wipe your boogers on your sleeve. Who cares? You know, but get it out, because it's cleansing and it's freeing, like this thing that, you know, people shouldn't cry. So when should I cry? You know, it's cleansing and it's freeing. And especially if you know why you're crying. And sometimes you don't know why you're crying,
Right.
but your body needs that release, and it is okay.
Absolutely.
You know what?
Yeah. We don't always have to analyze
Life.
and try to understand the logical aspect of it. We just need to embrace the fact that our body is talking to us. And I love that this has gotten brought up in this conversation, because I said earlier that I've been writing my book lately, and I literally just today was writing that part about how we need to come back to nature and really listen to ourselves and really pay attention when our hair stands up on our arms or our ears perk up for some reason, but we don't understand why. I mean, we are animals, and we forget that we're an animal. So we forget to use those basic instincts that are supposed to be here for our survival, just like every other animal. And I think when you put it in that context, maybe, hopefully, people will grasp it better, because we are animals, and it's time we come back to looking at ourselves as part of the animal kingdom and really appreciate the way that our eyes can zoom in on something, and the way our ears perk up or lower to listen to certain sounds, the way our skin feels when the air changes. You know, my grandfather was Native American, grandson of a Chippewa, a very important Chippewa to be specific. And he was a huge instrumental part of my early learning. He was a shaman in his own right, and he could tell you before any TV weather personality could tell you what was going to happen with the weather, and would be exactly right every time. And it wasn't that he was psychic, but he was psychic, right? Because being psychic really means listening to your body, listening to those animal instincts. And he was outside more often than inside the house, right? He lived in a house with no running water, no electricity, and wanted to keep it that way, even when the whole town modernized around him, because he wanted to stay grounded. He wanted to stay connected. And he would sit outside or stand outside on the earth and feel the air. And he taught me how to smell rain. I tell people I can smell rain coming, and they think I'm crazy. But I can smell the rain before it gets there, before there's a cloud in the sky. I smell the rain. I can tell you you're going to get sick before you get the first sniffle, because I smell the sick germs already on you. I use my senses. I embrace the animal in me, you know, and I think it's fun, actually. I have a lot of fun with doing things like that. I tap into my little kid and explore with it. But I think that it's really important that we realize that these words we use, like psychic or chakras, it's not so difficult to wrap your mind around if you look at it from a very mundane perspective. We are animals. So our psychic intuition is everything in our energy field that's taking in the information and feeding it to our brain. The only thing we need to do different is to stop using that logical mind where we're trying to analyze it and just feel it, you know, kind of like that cry. When you need to cry, you just let it go. Absolutely feel all of this information that's coming into your field and be aware of it and listen to it. because it is our basic survival. And it is the way that's going to lead us to the world that we want to see around us existing. It really, really, truly is. And I know that Renee is dying to say something.
I know. It's my turn finally. When you said you were going to do it on the solstice, and I had to look it up, and basically it says that the high frequency energy to boost our vibrational energy and shift to the next level of our life. That's what it's bringing. That's what this high frequency energy portal is bringing, and then also it's to
repeat that.
Okay, Yeah, it's bringing high frequency energy to boost our vibrational energy and shift to the next level of our life with higher frequency realities like more love, true love, abundance, good fortune, amazing relationships, goals being achieved, and dreams coming true. But blocks being cleared and negativity being released. So that's why we're being put through the tests. We're also being encouraged to get in with our shadow side, meaning do not fear our dark side and feel our emotions, just as you've been saying. Our angels are here to align with us and our authentic self and highest soul purpose. So, and with the 12, 21, 21, those are really numerological things. What's that?
I'm hiding from it.
Oh,
I said, we're opening Pandora's box.
we are. Did you want me to go over the cards I pulled? I pulled cards before we started. Since we're missing tarot night anyway, I decided to ask the universe what cards we needed to know. And I sent you the layout.
Yeah.
But I'll go through them. I pulled the big ones first, and then I pulled the little ones as clarifiers, okay? So the first one.
Hey, Renee.
Okay.
You don't have to show them. Just tell us what they mean.
Okay, the first one was the High Priestess. It says, trust your own counsel first. And then the Stag came up, and then that means the prosperity, productivity, achieving results, down to earth energy and potential to create. So this is our potential. And, it says, trust your counsel first and trust your own potential.
Right. And that goes.
And then the next one
earlier about trusting your own inner guidance, your faith, having your faith in yourself, in your intuition.
Right. And that card is a number 2. And now this one's a number 1. So we got 21 again. And this is the Ace of Cups. And this says, open your heart and receive the emotions around you. In other words, just take them in. And then the other clarifier I got was the 6 of Cups, which this one meant everything is possible, make great memories, idealistic. So whatever we ideally want, we can have, but we have to believe it and we have to feel the emotions around us.
Right. And I love how that the card right before that one is about say it again, about the love and stuff. Tell me that card right before that one again.
Yeah. This one? This one says, open your heart and receive the emotions around you. So it says, open your heart.
Right. That goes back to the, like, even when you don't understand why you want to cry and you just, let that happen, just cry, just let that happen. Feel those emotions, you can't heal them if you don't feel them.
Yeah. And basically I've got 4 cards. So, and then the next one was Page of Swords. And this says, take some time to think before you act. In other words, we have to be very cognizant of what we're doing. And then the clarifier was the King of Wands. And that was, don't charge in head first. You need to think first. So this is about charging in. So it's about, basically we need to think what we want in our future and it will happen.
Right.
And then the next
all of that past 3 days.
And then the Empress card says, be happy with the results of your actions. So whatever happened, just be fine with it, whether it was good, bad, or ugly,
That's right. And be proud of the way you reacted to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the final card on this one was the Four of Wands, which is, this is about celebration, positive news. So in the future, we have positive news and we're going to have celebrations and good news. And like me, you know, I'm pregnant at 54. What more can you ask for, right? And then the next one was that, sorry, Page of Pentacles. Sorry, I can't read my own stuff. And this is about, you know, how is the time to act? Now's the time to act on new opportunities and make the best out of what we have. So it's saying, you know, like if you want to start a business, this is going to be a good time. It's a good time to make changes that align with your purposes that you came down here for.
Yeah, and I think this is like that pivotal time where people reevaluate what they've been doing for a living. You know, Francis has experienced this, Garrett has experienced this, Amanda, myself, Renee. I think we've all been through that lately, where we really are like analyzing, you know, how fulfilled are we in what we were doing, and you know, is there something else for us? And I think it was before we started recording, we were actually talking about how we kind of put our feelers out for things sometimes, and then we just wait for the universe's response to show us, you know, where to go and if that's for us now. And a lot of people are just now learning how to do that. What'd you say, Garrett?
Well, I think right now, I'm not sure what you guys are feeling because I haven't talked to you guys individually much. I've talked to Talia a little bit, but I think what I feel is big changes are coming very soon. So to try to put a strategy or a plan in a business plan, like the whole concept of our internet could change for all we know. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to think in different terms. I've had a hard time with doing an online business. I've had to check in with myself on why is that? Is it procrastination? All of the above are true, basically. But I do feel like I almost would rather do like a grassroots, go out in my community, go and take into that. It feels more natural to me than, I don't feel great saying, oh, I need to go put a whole bunch of prices on my website and try to get people to come in and market to them. And the energy of that doesn't feel natural to me. I'm having a hard time with that. So I'm trying to figure out, is that blockages? Is that hesitation? Is there a truer sense inside of me that's saying, no, there's another way? Am I supposed to be a leader? And what is that new way? How do we go into the community and do that, you know, as
Right.
well? I just had to share that because that was the energy I was feeling. In that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have to say, I've been getting involved in my community more than being on the internet. And I think it's served me well. I mean, with the real estate, it's really forced me to get out in my community and really meet people. And, you know, that's been really an eye opener for me, is how much it does bring back to you when you do get involved in your community. It's kind of tough to get out there and force yourself, but sometimes there's a lot of rewards in that. But I think you have to do about a half and half. It's not always great to, you know, be in one place. I think you've got to be in both. And yes, our internet and everything else could change. I feel like I am where I'm supposed to be at. And, you know, if I need to do more, the creator's going to tell me that, you know, so I use my intuition a lot when that comes to that. And, you know, between my life coaching and doing my readings, you know, for people, and then doing the real estate, but everything I do on the one area helps me in the other area. So they all kind of come together in a way. You know, I've had a hard time finding another avenue of a profession. And I felt, well, okay, I can help people find a house. That aligns good with me. Now, I'm not going to help them with foreclosures. I'm not going to help the banks. I'm not going to really help them. I'm going to utilize them to the best of my ability, but I'm not going to go over the top and do things that I think are not aligning with my soul purpose.
Right.
So I pick and choose.
I think the thing to remember too is, you know, we have to really try to stay grounded and not allow the things that we have no ability to control to get in the way. So whatever's going to happen to the internet's going to happen to the internet. Whatever's going to happen wherever it's all going to happen. But if you're doing what you feel is in alignment with you and your whole being, your whole self, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. What did we do before we had an internet? Right? What did we do before we had cell phones? What did we do before we had pages? So you will, if it is in alignment with what you really want, then you'll be fine. It's the analyzing that's the 3D, and that's the prevention.
Yeah.
Because we've been taught you got to do a cost analysis, you got to do a business plan, you got to do you don't have to do anything. If it's for you, it's for you, and it can't be taken away. And just because Renee did it one way and you did it a different way,
They're all fine.
They're all fine. You know? So I think.
And the other thing is, we do make mistakes here and there, and some things we go down the wrong road and we turn around and we go back, and we start over and we go in another direction. We are expected to make the mistakes too. That's part of our learning as well, and so and I'm kind of like the ram. Sometimes it's just action, going and taking action. That's all we need to do. I'm an Aries too, and I tend to ram my way through life sometimes. And sometimes I need to be like more the Cancer, and I need to pull myself back and be a little more, reserved too at times. So it's hard to kind of have that balance, where I, sometimes taking too much action, people get offended by that. But I'm of the one of, it's better to take action than not do anything.
Well, I have found in my experience, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because sometimes when I take too much time to myself and retract and don't say anything, then they get pissed off for that too. So whatever.
You get what you get at any given time, and you don't get upset.
That's right.
That's it.
And actually,
well, you do get upset, but I don't have to be upset with you. You could be upset on your own.
That's right. Like it shouldn't matter anyway, other people's opinions.
The other thing that I wanted to
matter is ours.
Sorry, Kelly.
That's okay. I was just saying we should just truly, really care about our own opinion first. That goes back to that loving yourself, listening to yourself.
Yes.
Because if you're thinking badly of yourself, if you're talking badly of yourself, then you're not loving yourself, and you're not trying to grow, and you're not trying to improve. Like if you're going to sit here and tell yourself, well, that was really stupid. Why'd you do that again? Come on, man. How many times are you going to say that to yourself before you wake up and realize, okay, I need to just listen and not be stupid anymore. And, then you're not talking to yourself that way. Or like cut yourself some slack and be like, okay, I'm not stupid. I'm just really hard at learning this part of my lesson. Well, what do you do, Amanda? Do you tell yourself you're stupid?
I've called myself a moron a lot. That's my word. I like moron.
Moron?
I feel like she tell other people that before she tell herself.
What would you say, Gary?
I said, I feel like you would tell other people that before you tell yourself that.
That is true, right? And this is what I want to say, right? Because there's beautiful, her name's Heather Plett, Plett. She was a young lady that posted this, and it said, what does it mean to hold space for another person? And I'm going to say this is for yourself, and this is also for another person, right? It means that we are willing to walk along a side of another person, right? And whatever journey they're on without judging them,
right?
Making them feel adequate, trying to fix them, or trying to impact the outcome. When we hold space for the other people, we open our hearts, offer unconditional support, and let go of judgment and control. Well, we can do that exact same thing with ourselves, right? Because
right.
We are, and I will tell you, I'm going to go back to my fighters again, right? They are their worst, fan. and hater at the same time, right? But I want to say it works. Like they even as many good things that they did, they will find that they're like, I didn't do enough. That's not what this is about. It's to see what you did. Well, you know, what is your performance going on right now? Just judge the present. Like my daughter told me the other day, you can't go back and fix the past, but we can always plan our future, right? And
Yeah.
we always can and when we stay present, we're allowing our future to come to fruition, right?
Right. Stay
Like
conscious
it's
in
like
your
gonna get
moment.
our
Yeah. And like
yes,
really,
yes.
truly gauge the choices that you make in everything that you're doing. You know, I mean, like people that feel bad about being heavy set, why are you feeling bad about that? You know what? Either A, change something that's going on that you're doing, you know, to lean that direction, or B, if you can't help it that you're that way, just love yourself. Try that. Like try loving yourself. It blows my mind how hard it is for people to just love themselves. Like it just blows my mind. And we talk worse to ourselves than we do to other people. You know, way worse. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Francis, but I know Garrett wants to chime in too. I can tell.
I was just saying, be yourself and own it. Just own it. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's kind of funny you mentioned that, because my mom she worked at her boss bought her this workout clinic to go to. So she went, she did really good. She lost like 50 pounds or something, really started running 5Ks and all kinds of stuff. Really proud of herself. But she just wasn't the same person. And she's gained the weight since then back, and she seems like herself and her normal. She's who she's supposed to be, you know?
Right.
But it was good experience for her in that, but it just goes to show that you can't change it. And if you do, you still got to be authentic in it somehow. I don't know, but
yeah.
But you had mentioned the tarot card a while ago, Renee, and you had mentioned 21 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my cards, see, I had 21 and then I had 23 also came up because I had a 2 here and a 3 here. So these cards have a 21 on them, and then these have 23.
Gotcha. So as we were starting, I pulled one card just in general for this experience.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
And it was 21 as well. And it's about strategy. So from this, I don't know if you can see the energy oracle, but
Okay.
But at some point before we're done, I pulled one card for each of us too. I haven't turned them over. I don't know what they are.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I'll just show you the card, what it is right at the end, and you can either look it up or I can read it to you if we have time. But
Go ahead, Francis.
I was just saying, the past 3 years, I've been on a different journey of embracing selfishness, like seriously learning how to love myself as selfishly as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that is the hardest thing. It's the giving of one's self is the most difficult habit to break.
Yes.
But I have never felt better as a person. You know, let your no be no, let your yes be yes.
Right.
The phone's ringing, I'm not in the mood to answer it, let it keep ringing.
Yes.
I just want to sit here and just be.
Right.
And being brave enough to give ourselves permission, because again, you know, when they say selfish, it's supposed to be something bad. But the reality is you're actually no good to the world if you don't take that time for yourself, if you don't nurture yourself, if you don't heal yourself, if you don't feed your own soul.
Yeah.
What, you know, what I can watch all these videos and listen to all these people, but what am I doing to feed my spiritual growth? What am I doing to feed my hands? My hands always, they have to do something. What am I doing? You know? So it's the word that keeps coming up is alignment. And it's very happy over here today. It's extremely happy.
There's one thing
Just
I'll
lots
say
of,
that
I don't know what, something brought it on a few hours ago. I just noticed just lots and lots, and I don't know, it's like a party going on. Lots
I
of,
have to agree with the alignment.
yeah.
Just a second, just to catch the viewers and Garrett up to speed on what Francis means. Francis has a lot of ancestral visitors daily.
All right.
Yes. I have a
Daily.
lot of visitors that come and visit, and it was quiet for a couple of days, but it's been about, after I spoke to you, Renee, actually just before I spoke to you earlier on, yeah, it started to get really really busy, which is fine.
And then Amanda wanted to say something real quick, and then we'll go back to you, Renee.
I just wanted to say, like, with what you were saying, Francis, is like what we're going through right now, and like if you're watching TV and whatever, there's distractions on, or someone you call and you really didn't need to call, right? You want to say, how is this useful for me in my life right now, right? Like really use that like discernment when you're hearing information or you're going to do something, because that's also going to help you fulfill that mindfulness and like that control over like how you're going to be able to hold yourself in that loving state of mind for yourself and for others. You get less aggravated, right? It's the fact of like just how is this so useful in my life right now? Yes, it's interesting. There's a lot of things in this right going on right now that are interesting, right? But how is those interesting things really filling a purpose in your life, right? If it's not, then I think it's time to like back out, work on yourself, and then when you work on yourself and you get things in line and they're in order, then you can add more things in to that scenario, right, that are interesting on that other side of the world that are going on. But for right now, I just really say, and I'm doing that myself too, it's like, how is that useful in my life? Is it going to piss me off? Is it going to make me have fear? Is it going to have me sadness? Like,
Right.
what is it bringing into my life that's holding space for me?
Right.
Definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you, because when it's not useful, then it's draining. It's taking away your energy.
Yeah.
Beware of energy vampires. And because energy vampires come in many different forms.
And they're
And once.
And again,
everywhere.
hold on. And again, let's explain to people that don't understand our language. What's an energy vampire? What does that really mean? That means people who want to call you or come see you because they're going to use your energy to lift them up, right? Or because your energy is higher than theirs, they want to do something to piss you off or trigger you or
bring you down.
Yeah, drag you down to their level. Because as our mothers used to always tell us, misery loves company, right? So they want to feed off of it, and they also want to bring us down. So that's what it means to be around an energy vampire. And I guarantee you, there is not a soul on this planet that doesn't know at least one energy vampire, psychic vampire, however you want.
I mean,
at least one.
Sometimes you can feel them.
Probably the case would be everybody you know except one is one. That's usually the odds. Honestly.
Well, Kelly, it goes back to what you were saying about using your animal instincts. I mean, sometimes, energy vampires, you may not even know them. They're just around you. I mean,
yes.
What about the times when you're in the store and somebody comes and stands in line and it's almost like this entire shadow that just, So and then we have energy vampires in your personal lives, in your familiar relationships, which makes things difficult.
Right.
But again, you have one job to do, and that is to take care of yourself.
You, right.
Before you can do anything
You.
else.
Take
One
care
job,
of you.
that's it.
Honor
Take
you.
care of yourself.
Yeah. Right.
So
Because
explain
only
how-
then
That's
can you
selfish.
honor others.
Yeah. What?
would you explain how you clear that out? Because with that, like, so when we're saying energy vampires, we're saying sucking, like vampires suck blood, right? We're saying like energy
Okay,
being sucked human.
so let
right?
me explain it differently. So I had a phone call today, known somebody for a number of years. And it's the same thing. Actually, I've known her for almost as long as I've been in America, almost 20 plus
Hold
years.
on. Can
It's the same.
One second. Let me just simplify it real quick, and then you can tell your story. Because
Okay.
Renee's still waiting for us to get back to her too. But just to
Oh,
simplify,
okay, sorry.
just to simplify what that means for everybody. Oh my God, I had it and now I've lost it. Let me think just for a second. Okay. So an energy vampire, they're not literally sucking your blood like a vampire. They're not like feeding off of you, but those are words that we would use, right? But it's that, I lost it. Go, talk. Oh my God.
It's the drain. It's the drain after the interaction that you have with the person, the being, the workspace. There is a level of drain, like you literally feel your energy leaving you.
Right, exactly.
Or you are in a great space, and then you have that interaction, and all of a sudden you feel sadness, you feel overwhelmed, you don't know. Those are energy vampires. There are also intentional energy vampires that will target people of higher vibration because they need that vibration to do what they need to do. So there's a whole variety. But if you are having conversations with people and you're just feeling drained afterwards, that's not normal.
Right.
Not being able to get out of a conversation is a good indicator.
Yeah.
Right. When they want to just keep going about something. Yeah.
And for every solution, there's a problem. And it's not somebody called you because something's happened. It's cyclical. It's I know, but I'm still sad. I know, but I'm still sad. I'm sorry you're sad. I'm really, really sorry. But right now, I'm trying to hold my space. Can I call you at a time where I could probably offer you more support? The end.
Right. Right. And there really are people that do that and they're not even aware of the fact that they do it. My sister actually is guilty of that with me. She'll tell everybody she knows. Anytime she's feeling sad, she calls Kelly. I mean, she's dependent upon that for me. I mean, granted, I'm funny shit, but still, she's kind of dependent upon that for me, right? And then she's gonna, tell me all of the bad things in her life instead of just talking to me and enjoying my energy so that it's a nice, smooth transfer. It's more of a drain, drag some more out of you, drain it, kind of a thing, to where, like with family, you got to learn to say clear boundaries. Can't do that. I'm not going to let that happen. Right now, Renee, we're going to come back around.
Well, I was going to say it's the chaos factor. I had a guest in my house and she created a lot of chaos for me, and it was draining on my energy, made me mad really easily. Of course, I think part of that was my hormones kicking up that I'm not used to. But my mama bear side came out when she told me that my life was over for being pregnant. And I said, no, my life is just beginning. How are you one to determine what my life is and what I should be doing and what I should not be doing? That is my choice. And her trying to tell me how I should run my life when she can't even run hers. I mean, it's like they try to drag you down, and it's called the chaos factor. They bring a lot of chaos to your life. And I tell you what I said is, after I had the backbone and kicked her out, I had peace for Christmas. That was my reward, is I have in my house again.
Your gift to yourself. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's right.
And at exactly the perfect time, considering the energy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my God, yes. Because this energy's been trying to kick everybody's ass.
The energy,
Well,
the energy
but it's
is,
also elevating us to the next level of our life. That's the other half that we got to realize, is that we're going through the chaos and the downside to get rid of it, to eliminate the negativity, to go to the positive side and realize that now we have peace. Okay,
Yeah.
I have peace now. Everybody, you know, as you have the backbone and kick out the people that just don't deserve your time, energy, and attention.
Right.
And sometimes you can't do that with family, but that's my lookout on that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I thought I turned my computer off.
You're good. You're still with us.
You're still here.
And yeah, you certainly can do that with family. Trust me, I have. If it's
Yeah.
necessary, it's necessary. You do what's best for you. And then you also need to remember to like pat yourself on the back for it too. You know, be proud that you
Right.
made that choice. Amanda.
Well, and I've kind of put my boundaries with my family too. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, no, Renee, I was just trying to say, like, sometimes it's, like I did it with my father, right? I got so, like I look like Chris Farley from Billy Madison when he's like Adol and he's holding his breath and it's just like, right, ready to explode. With my father, right? Hung up, wrote him a text, like I probably just see you on the other side. That's the next time we're gonna talk, right? Guess what? We're talking again. So sometimes it's just like a timeout, right?
Right.
Like sometimes
Right.
it's just a timeout.
Right.
Like, well, the referee comes in, go to your corners, let's cool down. And those corners may be months. Those corners may be years. Those corners could be 2 days. We
Right.
don't know, right?
It's a
We're-
season,
we're-
right? It's a
yes,
season.
because-
And seasons can be
Yes.
longer than others. Some seasons. Yeah.
And
Whatever's
who,
necessary.
and I'm sorry, who's to say there's a time limit on anything? Like when they say for grief, for whatever the hell it is, right?
Yeah.
When somebody has a new baby, dad wants to stay home, they only say 3 weeks now or whatever the hell it is. Nobody gets to put time on things, right?
Right.
Is when you are ready, and I like to say that your sense comes in to play, right? Your sixth sense is coming in and it's working along the side of you and your faith and your brain and your voice, and it's like all coming together, and you're just it's not like it's 100% every day all day long going on. I just want everybody to know we're all normal and we all run our foot into the door and say bad words, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
And
we
get
don't-
mad
we-
about
I-
things. Yeah.
yes
We're not perfect.
and
Just because we're spiritual helpers doesn't mean we're perfect. Doesn't mean that our life is perfect. Absolutely.
Yes.
wait, I am perfect imperfection.
That's
That
right.
seems to be my.
That's right. Yeah.
I think what would be, what I hope will be helpful for the masses are just like some simple pointers on how to ground when you find yourself spinning and, you need to declutter.
Breathe. Your breath is the number
Yeah.
one thing.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on your breath.
Breathe and listen.
Mhm.
And they said, like, when you actually make the sound of the breathing, it really helps because it allows your brain to focus.
Right. Exactly.
So
In for
so
a
people
for a
can
count of 3 and out for a count of 5. Isn't that how you do it, Amanda? In for a count of 3, out for a count of 5. Yeah, for the slow relaxation breath. Yeah. Well, Garrett probably knows that too. I'm sure. Don't you teach stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I'm learning qigong, and more like feng shui energy as far as the energy flows of everything.
Right.
So as far as Reiki and stuff like that, I've recently learned. So it's all newer to me, but yeah.
But it's the
breath
first
is
thing
something
you
I
do.
actually struggle with is keeping a rhythm in my breathing as I do the qigong or something. So that's kind of a new zone for me. Yeah.
Really?
And with me, I use the tuning forks.
Yeah.
No, it's just, I was just saying, it's the first thing that we do when we come in this world, right? We breathe, when we're born. It's the first thing that we do when we enter into Earth.
Yeah.
Is we
And it's
take
the
in
last thing we do before we leave.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I will tell you, and how many times, let's just look at a child for right now, right? Like,
Yeah.
when we're doing that, we're trying to catch our body's naturally been taught itself to, like, it's trying to bring you down a couple notches of levels, right? To just bring that down. But I can tell you, that's why Lamaze is so well, right? For when you're having a baby, right? It's all about focusing on the breathing and stuff like that. But literally when I'm getting, and that's why they say count backwards from 100 or something, right?
Right.
1,000, 2, where you know you can't even remember what the hell you were getting mad about, right? And it's all about that breathing. And when you're doing that too, you're getting oxygen going back up to the brain, which is probably making you think better because you're getting more oxygen. Because when you're pissed, you're cutting off circulations to parts of your neck, and it's just it's, you know, energy's not flowing where the focus is going. So let's just switch it all around.
Yeah. And I can kind of relate to Garrett saying that he kind of has a little trouble with the breath part of like Qigong, learning that. Because I know when I was learning, when I was learning Tai Chi, I actually experienced that myself. I was kind of overthinking the breath, you know, like I would put too much emphasis on the breath. And then I was like all dizzy headed, sucking in too much oxygen, you know, and I'm just like, damn, why can't I get this straight?
Well, that's one of the scariest things that when you are learning, right? Because then you have to remember, like, our body just breathes naturally for us. This beautiful maintenance thing, just like, we don't need to focus on that. We just need to be able to just slow it down, right? Slow it down. That's all that is.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, too, you know, like with anxiety, when people are feeling anxious, even if they don't understand why, that's like your body telling you to pay attention to something. You know, that's another one of those senses of your animal instincts, is to listen to the breath. And so if your breath is like freaking out and you don't know why, maybe pay attention to your surroundings and see what's happening in your surroundings. And even people, I just actually witnessed this and really realized it fully yesterday with someone who is totally asleep, totally not awake in any way, shape, or form. But right before kind of a chaotic event happened in their life, they suddenly felt very ill. They had shivers all over. They felt sick to their stomach. Their head was hurting. They just didn't know what they thought they were coming down with something all of a sudden, right? And then like 15 minutes later, chaos happened. And I'm like, dude, that was totally your animal instincts kicking in and trying to tell you ahead of time, some shit's getting ready to hit the fan. Get ready. You know?
Take cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do they call that? ESP, right?
Yeah.
That's what we like to call it.
Yeah.
In our language.
Right.
Extra sensory perception, ESP.
But that's exactly, I mean, that's our animal instincts kicking in that people don't listen to.
Well, and sometimes we get pre-warnings of stuff too. It's a pre-warning from our angels and guides letting us know, and our body can affect us too, you know. So the body's letting us know, because everything is included in our body. Our body knows everything that's going to happen.
And that's true, it does. but the reason for that is because you are this biological electromagnetic being. So your body, I mean, you can call it your angels and your guides and whatever you want to call it, but at its essence, it's really you. It's really your energy field that's all around you, taking in all this information and then feeding it into you, the motherboard. And then, you know, you just have to be smart enough to not analyze the information too much and just allow it to process and react, right? But we have to retrain our brains to process and react first, and then also to react, you know, in a more balanced type way. Like when Renee pulled them cards earlier and it was talking about, you know, thinking before you speak or you act or whatever. And boy, did I have a test of faith in that stuff past few days. And I'm proud to say I passed. Go ahead, Renee. Finish what you were saying. You kind of blipped out and then back. Did you know you left us?
Oh,
Maybe she's still frozen.
It's on.
I'm here.
Okay,
oh,
we totally lost your connection. Your energy got
I
big.
know, I don't know what happened.
Your energy got real big. Okay, so we've been going for quite a while now, guys. Let's all do some parting words. And we'll start with you, Renee.
Well, I just like to have everybody get to the next level of their life for this coming season. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. Go with the flow of life and everything will be good.
Absolutely. Francis?
Just the two B's. Just be so that you can balance. That's it.
Love it.
Give yourself a gift. Take the pressure off yourself. Just be so that you can balance.
I love it. Garrett?
I would say find the spiritual tools that help rebalance you. Find the ones that you know work and work well quickly for you. I'm kind of tuning into what those are.
Awesome. And I'm just going to kind of go with Francis's theme and just keep it to the KISS principle, you know, keep it simple, stupid. We don't have to overanalyze everything in our life. We don't always have to understand why something is happening within us, like the, you know, needing to cry or whatever. Just feel it to heal it. And every single day, pat yourself on the back. Tell yourself that you're doing great. You're doing the best that you can with the tools that you have right now, and just keep going. And we're going to let Amanda give her final thoughts, and then she's going to close us out in a little small meditative prayer.
And I do have the cards I can pull for you guys.
Oh yeah, and we can do that.
At whatever.
Yeah.
I just want to say my mantra I've been saying lately is I feel I'm alive and I feel. Right. And
Yeah.
I just want you all to know that, like, keep your faith strong. Whatever faith you may have new faith. You may not know what this faith is. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. And just know that you are always, all of you in this galaxy are always in my prayers.
Yes.
Always. And I always ask for the sun and the moon every time it's out, that it sends that love to everybody. And it fills every crack and crevice that may fill your body. And if you don't love yourself, I love you. I truly do. And that's coming from my heart, truly. These people know. I talk through my heart.
Yeah.
When I come to stuff like that. So with that, you know, today became the days are balanced out again, right? With our sunshine and our moon and stuff that are coming into sync.
Yeah.
And so I would ask that we hold space. So when you do this, like, you don't have to be a pro at any of this. You can just close your eyes. You can be wide open like a deer. It doesn't matter. You can stare up at the sky. You can fold your arms. All I ask is don't kneel. You're a sovereign human being. Stand strong and always look up as you do this, okay? Or keep your head high, you know?
Yeah.
Because that shows yourself.
Yeah.
But I choose to close my eyes. So at this time, as we gather together and we head into, well, we end and start a new beginning. It's a Genesis word that I would like to say.
Yeah.
And that we go into this with our hands open and willing to accept ourselves and others. And we do this not alone. We do this with guidance from above, from within, and from all around. May it be angels. May it be fairies. May it be our earth. May it be all of the elements. May it be others that help guide us and give us the strength to go within and to plant our beautiful ideas and imagination of things that we have thought of since we were little. And it's now time to take this and put it into our garden and ask that we water it through this time to the spring. And then we all start to see these beautiful affirmations that we've been saying and believing come true. And if it hasn't worked for others, they will see us and others happen. And then they will come and ask how and want to be given advice or learn different ways. And we just all want to help each other. So I ask this for us to go into this new year with the love and abundance and with no judgment to ourselves and to others, that we may be able to forgive and let go and to just become as one. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
So it is.
Thank you much. That was beautiful. All right, Garrett, tell us what cards you have for us before we go.
All right. So I put them in order of where you guys are sitting on the screen. It's moved around a few times, so I would adjust it as I went.
Sorry.
So I guess for Amanda, we'll go this route. So this one is 25, and this seat, I'm not sure what you can see or can't see.
Okay. Deceit.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a
Do
7.
you want me to read, or do you guys have this deck already, or do you?
I don't
know
have
your
that
timeline.
No, tell us
Don't have that deck.
what it means.
What's that? Yeah.
Tell us what it means. Yeah.
Here come the bifocals.
Okay.
All right. Other hidden tactics and manipulation. This card comes as a warning that there may be some deception going on in your life. The person hiding behind the curtain is likely someone you know or deal with, either personally or professionally. The duplicity could be regarding a personal issue, like someone spreading rumors or disrespecting you to others. Or it could be a business matter where details are being hidden or even manipulated. Be aware of what is going on in your life. The man behind the curtain is holding a bag of something valuable, so watch your money and your good name, and make sure you have all the information you need to keep things honest and secure. A deeper layer of meaning may be the deception is actually coming from within. Is there something that you're lying to yourself about? In this case, a bag of valuables, maybe holding things like self-esteem, happiness, and even leisure time. Whether it's about your life or yourself, remember that the universe has a hard time sending you honoring experiences if your energy is shrouded in self-deceit. I feel like I've had a lot of self-deceit, or that's what's been brought forth for me as well in the last couple of days, for sure, what I'm realizing. So I think that could be a overall energy coming through as well. So
But also, ironically, Amanda has just went through something with her business where there was a lot of deceit going on, and attempted stealing of some rolls.
You know what? I would, again, for me to, as a business owner, right? How are you going to act as professional in this way, right? How are you going to walk the walk, the talk that I walk, that I talk, right? So that's the lesson. And I say, yeah, no, it's amazing. And I also do have a little self-esteem stuff too. We all do.
Right? We all do.
Yeah, we all. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So yeah, like there is some stuff like that too, right?
Right.
So yeah, no, I
Good deal.
100% spot on. And thank you, because that's raw and it's real and people can see that. So thank you.
Yeah.
thank you. All right, next one is for Francis. It's number 19, rest and rejuvenation. Which it almost has a blanket on right now, like you have. Just
Funny.
all right. All right, relaxation and meditation. This card shows a man in a meditative and tranquil state. The message here is that it's time to relax. You may have been busy lately, but you should soon be finding more time to just let go. When you do, allow yourself to go within and open up to the peace and wisdom that you are vibrating there. This card upright indicates that there should be more leisure time for you now and more of an opportunity to engage in peaceful thinking. So make it a priority. Your connection to spirit brings great assistance, but it can only be achieved through regular relaxation and meditation. Now is a great time to make sure you insert this gentle activity into your daily life. In many ways, this is far more productive than unceasing action. I feel like you've been doing that, I can tell.
Yeah, that's a very interesting
I
card.
think so.
I mean, it's spot on. You know.
Of what you've been doing and how it's
Yeah, it's what I've been doing, but just at a much higher vibrational level. You know.
It comes across back to us as well, which is really
Yeah.
nice to see.
It was a God nod, Francis.
Yes.
For the good work.
Yeah. Yes. You know. Yeah. This is the meditation and the way I meditate. It's interesting. It's all very powerful stuff. How it all comes together.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know, when you ask, because you want to know when your hands are ready to make something. And then you all of a sudden notice a change in temperature in your hands or a tingle. Like, yeah, I'm going to make these oils today. You know, it's all, I don't have the right words to describe the journey right now. But it's powerful, it's positive, and I embrace it.
Yeah. And it shows. Who's next?
All right, you're next, Kelly.
Uh-huh.
So this was 46, the thinking man.
Okay.
It was in reverse. So
Oh,
I'll
no.
read the reverse.
Okay.
That's not always a bad thing.
So I'm not thinking.
You're done with the thinking.
Well, are you a man or not? No.
I mean,
All right.
half of it is.
Do you
Yeah.
want me to read the upright and the you want me to do the upright and the reversed? Or
No,
just the
just-
reversed?
Just give me the reverse.
All right, here we go. The thinking man in this position could represent a male in authority who is not acting in your best interests.
Oh,
This
well,
card reversed is more about you than the other person in your life. This card in this position usually indicates that such a learning and growth are actually a part of your own path, and you are not heeding the call. You may be destined to be a therapist, teacher, writer, publisher, psychic, or healer, or some sort. Your soul longs to serve in this capacity, whether professionally or just in your personal life, but something seems to be blocking your way. But it's time to break through and move in this direction now. Remember, what you learned during your own growth, you'll be able to share with others, often adding your own compassion and profound personal wisdom.
that's the whole point of my whole life. You just summed up my whole life in one card. Like, I swear that is the knowing that I have, is that that's my whole life. I had to learn those lessons in order to compassionately help and heal others. I had to be able to relate. Yep.
And you're taking that action very well.
Thank you.
And for Renee, we have, I gotta show it, the action card.
And I've been taking action, yes. Okay.
This one also was in reverse, so I'll reverse.
Oh.
I love two
All
horses,
right, action.
a black and a white.
Yin and yang.
Goes with the dog. He's black and white.
Yin and
And
yang.
twins.
There is a bird flying above right in between the horses too.
That's funny. I was just dealing with birds.
Action is the accelerant that ignites your desires. But when this card is reversed, you may find that something is missing in your determination or your follow through. Perhaps you've been engaging in more wishful thinking than in any consistent effort. Or perhaps you need to make some adjustments in what you're paying attention to. Create a structured plan, then make sure you take daily action. This will move you closer to your goals. Be flexible yet persistent, and ever conscious of your ability to act on your own behalf.
And again, another God.
Yeah, I've been kind of slacking on some of the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, but overall, I try to accomplish something every day. So, but he's probably saying I need to get myself organized better.
Okay.
What are the things you're not doing that you want to do the most would be where I'd go. Yeah.
Well, it's just the real estate stuff I kind of have been slacking on, and I've just been I've been sleeping a lot with being pregnant. So it's like I've kind of got to get myself in the mojo again to start doing things.
Well, do you find that you have a new excitement about things because of that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's quite different, but it's a lot of pulling and pushing on the inside that I've never experienced. And so it's kind of funny, just watching my belly grow a little bit each day, but it's hard to tell when it's yourself. But I'm about 2.5 months, so not very far along, but all that was manifestation. Ask Kelly. There's a whole manifestation going on there.
And action.
Yes.
I just have to share with you, Renee, I'm getting images today. You said pulling and pushing. Kelly and Amanda and Karen. I literally saw an old woman in a rocking chair knitting something. Like, these images, they're not even correlating.
Yeah.
I usually don't get images, but you said it's just been a lot of pulling and pushing, and I just saw it's the pulling on the inside and the stretching of the skin and the stretching that I'm feeling a lot of, that is kind of unusual for me since I've never been pregnant before. So this is a first for me. Even though I'm 54, I've never experienced this before. Well, if you take up knitting, let me know. I do not knit, no. That would have been my mother. My mother crocheted. You're probably seeing my mother crocheting something for the baby. That would be my mother. Maybe, I don't know. She was a crochet.
What else you got, Garrett?
Just my card. So Mine was, wow, can't read. 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel.
Number.
Mm.
It was upside down and it's 39. So 3 of us had upside downs. Self-expression and speaking your truth. The card reversed often indicates significant blocks in the throat center. Something in your history may have caused you to shut down, but it's important now to break through that unhealthy pattern, or you may currently be in a situation where the free sharing of your ideas, opinions, or feelings is being thwarted. This is true. In addition to the fear of self-expression, this card reverse could indicate physical throat problems, as all the chakra cards reversed may signal difficulties in that area of the body. The physical trouble may be connected to the blocked energy in that chakra. So it's all the more important to work on clearing the energy in the center involved. To clear the throat chakra, call upon Gabriel and meditate on his power blasting through any blocks. See your throat center spinning into beautiful blue light. Muster up the courage to speak your truth to yourself and to those around you. It's time to let go of any old fear or confrontation and stand up for yourself from now on. So I think I've always felt I've had a really clear throat chakra, and I've always been able to speak my truth, but I think I held on to that belief, so I didn't think about working on my throat chakra
Exactly.
as well. That's what I'm getting from that, my own learning in it. So, but, and obviously it all connects very well to what's been going on with me. So,
Yeah. And just so you know, Renee is also an Aries.
well, thank you.
Yep. And I've also had the thing with the throat chakra. I've always had trouble with my throat. And so that does explain a lot. And I think there's times where I've held my tongue where I should have said something. And there's times when I've said something that I shouldn't have. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does. All right. Well, I want to thank all of you for being willing to jump on last minute and just do things flying by the seat of our pants. I'm really
It was
pleased
wonderful.
to be here with you tonight and that we've done this together. I think it's been a really great show. Maybe the most fun I've ever had making a show, and definitely the longest, because I think we've went like 2 hours. Which is okay by me, you know. I saw Garrett yawn one time, but
I'm earlier than your time.
I know. It's all good. I'm just teasing with you. But yeah, thank you so much for being here with me, and for everybody watching. Thank you for tuning in, and please just remember to love yourself. And it's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel sad, and to reach out to someone, even if it's one of us. And I'm going to leave everybody's information that is public knowledge in the links below the video, so that all of us are accessible to anyone who would want to reach out to us. And of course, you know, feel free to make comments as well in the comment section. And I'm sure that we're all going to be watching them, and we can get back to you, speak to you if you need someone to talk to. And let's move through this solstice and this Christmas with happiness and true joy in our heart for ourselves and everyone around us, and usher in a really great, beautiful new year. Thank you, everybody.
Namaste.